Yo, what up, what up, what
Hey,
up?
what's up, everybody? I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I am Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School, and I am sitting here. I'm getting ready to do some work.
Connected to iPhone.
What up, guys? What up, what up?
See how everybody's doing. Sitting here. I'm getting ready
Give me a second
to
here.
do some work tonight.
Okay.
Some places I gotta go.
Let me stop echoing. Okay, that's rule number one. Stop echoing. What's up, Michelle Martin? How you doing? I see Michelle is here. I'm going to see Michelle in a little bit. We're actually in Chicago tonight. We're about to screen our film Democracy: A Black American Horror Story down at the Studio Movie Grill down in Chatham, Black neighborhood, beautiful theater. Beautiful theater. You hear me? I'm talking about recliner seats, like they got barbecue ribs, just all kinds of stuff that makes it into a wonderful place of this full bar you can go to even if you don't go see a movie. It's really one of the nicest theaters I've ever seen, and I'm very happy that it's in a black community. I don't know who owns it entirely, who owns the national chain, but it's the best venue that we've had in a while, especially for the price. So we're going to start doing a lot of business with Studio Movie Grill. In fact, we're going to start releasing all of our films through Studio Movie Grill. But that's neither here nor there. So by the way, so if you want to come out to see us in Chicago, you can go to drboycechicago.com and get your ticket online, or you can just show up at the door. I don't know if the online tickets are still available, but you can show up at the door. I think there'll be some left there. Also, we'll be in Dallas. Dr. Claude Anderson will be in Dallas. I'm going to do a digital presentation in Dallas. So you can go to drboycedallas.com if you're interested. So thank you for saying welcome to Chicago. Ray, you should be there. You should be hanging out with us. Okay. All right. See, now I don't get no shit when we don't come back to Chicago for a couple of years now, because people be like, when you come to Chicago? You never come to Chicago. So we're in Chicago now. We'll be here today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we're showing Raising a Black Scholar. So now I'm in Chicago, full effect, doing our thing.
Yo, you think Bill Cosby guilty, yo? You think Bill Cosby did that? All them rapes. You say he raped 30 women 30 years ago, 40 years ago, some crazy ass shit. I'm trying to see what Dr. Boyce Watkins said about that shit.
The rest of the world. So we're going to be in fact, when we push our movies out, we're going to push them out to multiple theaters at once, as opposed to doing city by city. That's kind of how our business is evolving. Now let me show you all something that is nothing less than a complete motherfucking masterpiece. And I emphasize the word motherfucking because this lady, she cusses more than I do, so she's probably going to hell too. But she is my hero. She did a video on Bill Cosby, and I'll tell you what, I said, Lord Jesus, who is this lady, and what wonderful planet do they make black women like her on? Because I want to live on that planet, because clearly they make a superior species. So let me introduce you. Her name is Michelle. I don't have her last name in front of me, but I'm going to open up this video so you guys can kind of hear her point of view. She is a sharp black woman, but she's also not afraid to share her perspective. Now, you don't have to agree with her, but you have to respect the passion. You have to respect the fact that she is a person that is okay with saying something that is not politically correct, that doesn't fit the conventional narrative, that doesn't fit with political, with whatever the media is telling you to believe about, all of this with the Cosby thing. And I saw the video and I hit my manager. I said, Michelle, we got to talk about this. And Michelle actually reached out to that Michelle. And she said, oh, I reached out to her and she would be geeked to come on and talk to you. So I said, well, tell her I'm equally geeked to talk to her. So I'm actually bring her in tomorrow. But I was so pumped up about her video that I was like, you know what, I'm going to play this video today, because y'all need to see this shit, okay? Because mind you, I cussed a little bit to kind of prepare your brain for a little get a couple little swear words in there. But, if that bothered you, just, you can step out the room. But if you can get past that part, which I think makes it actually more interesting, to be honest with you, I think this video lays out a point of view that should be on every national media outlet in the world, but it won't be. It won't be. Why won't it be? Well, because they're not going to hear an authentic black narrative when it comes to all this stuff. They want to hear the white narrative. They want to hear the feminist narrative. They want to hear the liberal or conservative narrative. They want to hear the white supremacist narrative. They don't want to hear black points of view. I'm hearing from black people all over the country who are saying this Bill Cosby trial is a big pack of bullshit. They're like, what is this? This is insanity. Like, is this what our justice system is all about? A bunch of he said, she said? So But of course, I mean, you're black in America, so you know it is what it is, right? So let me play this video. I'm gonna shut up and let y'all just hear what she has to say, because I respect, and I'm so happy she made this video, and I want you guys to kind of check it out. Here it goes. Hold on. Give me a second here. Let me do the stop share. Let me share it again so I can do it the right way. Okay. All right.
Okay, so I got some shit I got to say. I ain't done my motherfucking hair. It's still early around my house. I give no damn though. I am so motherfucking tired of watching black folks on social media criticize other motherfucking black folks because we are taking the stance, and I'm gonna say we, because I take that same motherfucking stance, that we don't give a fuck about what Bill did. And we don't give a fuck about him going to jail either. Like, he guilty, okay, he going to jail. At the end of the day, we give no fuck. But let me go a little bit more in detail. I am tired of watching you black motherfuckers, okay, get on here and criticize your people on your platform and talking shit and saying things like, if we sit here and say, oh, we give no fuck about Bill, what about the white person or this person or that person, and we point out another person that should be locked the fuck up as a white man, but they're not, right? Then you tell us that we sound like the All Lives Matter, or people who say, what about all the white folks that are killed by black folks? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? The shit that I see make me want to jump through the screen and wish I could slap. I wish it was a slap a motherfucker response, like when they open their phone, like a hand jump out the phone and slap the fuck out of you, okay? Are you, as a black person, are y'all really fucking going off on y'all people and comparing us to like All Lives Matter? Right? We're taking the focus off of Bill to focus on white people when we should just be like, oh, Bill is guilty and he go to jail, let's leave it at that. No, we're not gonna fucking leave it at that, because this is my problem here, okay? First of all, Bill is one of many, right? But the difference between Bill and the other many is that he is a fucking black man, right? This Me Too movement, when it started, first of all, a black woman started that shit, right? But then, nationally, it got hijacked by fucking Becky, right? So now it's turned into what the fuck happens to Becky, who's misusing her pussy, who's leading her on and having affairs with her at work, whose dick she sucked because she thought, nobody said that she would, that she might lose her job if she didn't suck the dick, right? So now this is what Me Too has turned into. Me Too don't give a fuck about black women, right? They have completely edged us out of this situation. They done took it and hijacked it, right? So even when Becky came out and started talking about all the motherfuckers that are doing shit to her, she named a whole lot of white counterparts, right? But even though Becky did that, Tom ain't going to jail. Tom ain't serving no time. Tom ain't facing no motherfucking charges, but we gonna lock the nigga up. But I don't see no white boys going to jail, right? I don't see no white boys being charged with no shit. Matter of fact, I see motherfucking white boys raping girls, even though she was white too, but he raped a motherfucking girl, right, at a party when she was passed out. This nigga got 6 months. 6 fucking months because the judge didn't want to ruin his life. What kind of shit is that? See, this is the thing. We watch black people time and time and time of fucking again go to jail for crimes they have committed. We know that black people pay for their crimes. We overly pay for our fucking crimes. And a lot of times we go to jail for crimes we didn't even fucking commit. Right? We die because we just black. We die because we holding cell phones and they supposed to be guns. Like, get the fuck out of here. But we supposed to somehow be in an uproar and all of this over the white women that got raped by Bill? Let me tell you something. This might sound a little bit harsh to y'all, but ask me if I give a fuck. I give no fuck. Say it again. I give no fuck about black men raping white women. Yeah, I said that, right? I don't give a fuck until y'all start giving a fuck about white people, white men raping and mistreating black women. See, we've been raped ever since we came here. Our motherfucking identity, our bodies, our pussies, our minds, we have been completely fucking raped. But they don't pay for that, right? Right? We want to go back 30, 40 years. So, okay. Let's do that then, right? I'm sure that there's a bunch of old white men around here who lynched a whole bunch of people like 40 years ago, who was raping black women even back then. We throwing them motherfuckers in jail? I'll wait, right? Because we don't do that in this country. We only come after black people who commit crimes. So yes, I give no fuck about what Bill did to those white women. I don't. And I never will give a fuck. And I'm never going to care about how black men treat, misuse, or abuse white women, right? I will say this to you. When y'all start giving a fuck about how this country treats black women, then I'll give a fuck about you white women. Until then, I give no motherfucking fucks. And as far as you black people trying to come on here and criticize your own goddamn people, talk about, oh, fair is fair and right is right, and y'all sound crazy, Bill was wrong, and y'all sticking up him. I ain't sticking up for that nigga. He raped them women, but I am saying And while we talking about rape and all you black men want to come over here, I understand that this Me Too movement got y'all in a predicament. So sometimes I have to come on here and kiss ass and try and sound like politically correct because y'all don't want to get caught up in that shit, right? I understand that that's what y'all doing, but I'm going to need y'all from a woman's perspective to calm the fuck down, right? We don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's a lot of black women that don't give a fuck, right? Like I said, when you start trying motherfucking white people for their crimes from 30 and 40 fucking years ago, then you could come and talk to me. I'm gonna need you black folks to lay the fuck up off of your people criticizing them because they don't give no fuck. You don't understand everything we've been through in this country? You don't understand that? We look at Bill's situation, and yes, in Bill's motherfucking situation, he was guilty of what the fuck he did, okay? But it is also a big acknowledgement and one more motherfucking time to slap in the face, knowing that Bill is not the only person that has been called to the carpet and this Me Too shit, yet and still he is the only person going to jail. When this nigga ain't even a threat. He a threat? This nigga is 80 years old. He needs something slipped in his dream for his dick to work these days. But we gonna send him to jail. I'm cool with that. I want to know when we gonna start sending the rest of these motherfuckers to jail, holding them accountable for their crimes, starting with our president. Until then, I give no fuck about these white bitches' tears. I don't. I don't care. And I never will care. And that's how the rest of our people feel. And for those of you that are black and don't understand that, I'm gonna need you to get the fuck out the sunken place. Fuck these motherfuckers till they do right by us.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, tell me that was not a great video that she did.
Yo, Boyce Watkins is fucking tripping.
That was classic.
This my man, though.
I ain't never seen nothing on a movie screen in Hollywood, nowhere, more interesting than that video. You know, and I'm gonna tell you, people, I see a lot of y'all are agreeing, you know, and I agree too. When I saw what she said, I loved it because she's not afraid to passionately express how she feels. You know, a lot of black folks are scared. We're trying to be politically correct. We're trying to make sure we don't offend the wrong person. You know, she really just kind of laid it out there, and I think that that's what we need. We need people that are going to be honest. You know, and I'm going to tell you, I mean, from the very beginning, you know, I've always said repeatedly that this trial was nonsense. It's not because everybody thinks Bill Cosby's a good guy or Bill Cosby's innocent. That ain't the issue. The issue is that, you know, that it's not fair. You're bending the rules of justice in your favor at your convenience. You're changing the rules as you play the game. You're deciding as you go along who's bad and who's not. I guarantee you this, if they would put a fine-tooth comb on Bill Clinton and put his ass on trial, there's a bunch of things Bill Clinton could be going to prison for. I will also tell you this, there's a thing called the statute of limitations. What you basically just said, the statute of limitations doesn't mean shit. But the thing is, you'll never apply that against a white woman. You'll never go back and get a white woman. Like the lady that lied. Remember that lady that lied and she confessed years later that she made up the stuff about Emmett Till and got his face smashed in and murdered? Mm-hmm. She got him murdered, a little boy murdered. Because she told a damn lie. And then y'all want to act like these women don't lie. Give me a fucking break. There are lying women everywhere, just like there are lying men. If you believe in equality, then you believe that men and women can equally lie. So why would you somehow tell me that I'm victim blaming if I asked you a fucking question? Like, did you really do it? Do you have proof? Can you show? Did you go to the police? Why did you keep taking money from him? Why did you keep going to his house when he was your rapist? Like, most people don't want to go hang out with their rapist. Were you bragging to your friends that this guy was your friend? I know people who've been sexually assaulted, and they don't seem to do that. They don't go and tell everybody that, you know, you should give me this job because I'm in really good with Bill Cosby and he's raping you every time you go see him. I mean, it's weird. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And the thing is that you're asking us to agree with this conviction because what you're saying is that your side of the story makes sense, but you're not hearing other sides of the story, and you're not admitting that those sides of the story make sense too. So I think that what's happened, unfortunately, is that the Me Too movement started off as something good. It started off as something that was necessary. You needed to talk about sexual assault against women. There are lots of women out here that have been harmed and molested, assaulted, raped, harassed, all these things. And what you've done is you've watered all that down because you let any old lying asshole to come off the street and say, me too. Like the lady said, you know, you agree, you go in there and you you offer to suck your boss's dick, and then you come back and say, well, I was victimized because I felt that if I didn't suck his dick, I wouldn't get the promotion. Like, what, how are you changing the whole narrative? I mean, do we not believe that women are incapable of coming on to men? Do we not even talk about the fact that women tend to be attracted to powerful men, and that there would be times where that woman is sending him naked pictures and messaging him and saying, hey, where's your wife at? Why don't you come in the broom closet with me? And then later on claiming to be a victim? Well, that's a lie. That's a farce. That's nonsense. So what I think that, has happened here, and I reached out to this sister. I'm gonna bring her in because I want her to, defend her point of view and to share more of her perspective. But, my point of view here is that you've lost common sense. There's nothing that makes sense about any of this trial. There's nothing legal about anything that happened to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got publicly lynched because, remember, in lynchings, it was never a time where, every person who was lynched was always completely innocent. In many cases, it was somebody who was accused of something who had not been convicted, and racist white vigilante mobs decided, we're going to take justice in our own hands. Fuck the law, fuck the rules. We're going to go in that jail. We're going to get that nigga out, take him outside, hang him from a tree. So Bill Cosby, he didn't get hung from a tree, but he did get destroyed in front of the public, humiliated in front of everybody. He might be sent to prison until the day he dies, because they're like, we're going to teach this nigga a lesson, because we believe them. We believe any woman that comes off the street and says whatever, without any evidence, statute of limitations have passed. There's nothing legal about us being able to prosecute this guy, but we can do it because we are white. And that's basically what just happened here. If there was a white man who was accused of those crimes, it could be 10 million black people saying he did something to all of us. He raped every one of us. He got a long penis. He raped 10 million black people. And they literally would ignore it. They'd say, yeah, we understand, but the statute of limitations, and unfortunately, the law says that we can't do it. We want to give you justice for Freddie Gray, but the law says that we can't do it because of procedure number 94782. We want to prosecute the cop who killed Alton Sterling, but we just can't because there's a technicality that says that it's not legal for us to pursue charges. But yet, when it comes to a black defendant, they're like, no, we're not letting any technicality stop us from getting what we want. Remember, and that's really the essence of white power. The essence of white power goes back to Powernomics, where Dr. Anderson said, and Claude Anderson said in his book, power is the ability to impose your will despite the opposition of others. So basically, if you want to see an example of white supremacy, an example of white power, an example of racism, an example of the fact that they care nothing about you, this is a perfect example. They literally just threw the law to the side and said, okay, well, all right, Miss Sally, tell your story. We're going to take your word for it. And remember, this lady literally got $3.5 million because Bill Cosby grabbed her boobs. Like, that's from what I read, that's all she's accused him of doing. I didn't see anything about penetration. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like she's saying he put me to sleep and grabbed my boobs. Now, again, I don't know if he did it. Maybe he did, but if he did, she got $3.5 million for that. I mean, ladies out here who are watching, would you take $3.5 million for somebody if somebody grabbed your boobs? I mean, and apologize for it? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. It's wrong. We know it's wrong. We know that if that happened, we know that it's wrong. But the point is, at what point is there a point where somebody has paid the debt that you feel that they owe to you? And I think that where white feminist entitlement comes into play and white feminist selfishness comes into play is the fact that they believe that there is no point at which a black person has ever paid their debt to society. It translates into how they deal with black men when they go to prison. They put you in prison, you get raped many, many times in prison. Ain't nobody doing a Me Too campaign for that. Ain't nobody, your son goes to prison, which is very easy. Lots of black men going to prison. So when your son goes to prison and he gets fucked in the ass 1,000 times, ain't no white feminist lining up with a Me Too campaign protecting him. But they'll protect a white woman who got her titties grabbed or who sucked a dick on the job because she thought she wasn't going to get the promotion. They'll defend her like she's a rape victim. But they won't defend your black son who got cornered in a cell and gang raped by 47 people on a repeated basis. They have they care nothing about that. So ultimately, I think that this is, this is just a clear example. I think this is an opportunity for us to really sort of look at America for what it is. Stop thinking that we live in a fantasy world where everything's fair and everything's good. Start talking to your sons about what happens when they get caught up with all the Beckys in the world. Bill Cosby, that's one mistake Bill Cosby and OJ both made. They were out here I guess they just thought there's a point, I think, where people really think I'm so famous and I'm so rich that I can literally do the same thing white people do, and I'm going to be treated differently because I'm a celebrity. And they don't understand how quickly America will dismiss and toss a black celebrity to the side and treat him like a pariah or like a criminal. And it's confusing for these poor guys who are really in the sunken place because they really thought that because they were famous that they were no longer black. And if there's anything I can tell you is that you're always going to be black. So if you look at Cosby, you look at O.J. Simpson, you look at Tiger Woods, those cases are almost identical in the sense that you had 3 black men where there was not adequate proof of their guilt of doing anything wrong. Tiger didn't do shit wrong. I mean, Tiger cheated on his wife, which is wrong. I mean, it makes him a morally reprehensible person. It makes him a bad husband. But that's between him and his spouse. But his wife is the one who should have went to prison because she tried to kill him with a golf club. Now, you tell me a world where a person can try to murder another person with a golf club, hit them upside the head, bust their face up. That's why Tiger was out in the public eye for about 3 weeks because his face was so busted up because his wife had hit him in the head with the golf club. You tell me a world where I could go out and hit somebody in the head with a golf club and damn near kill them and then have them on national TV apologizing to me. There is nothing that person could have done, nothing they could have said, nobody they could have fucked that would make you feel that they should be apologizing to me. The best thing I would hope for is that I don't get 30 years in prison. But white female privilege kicks in. Everybody sees her as the victim. Everyone always sees the white female as the victim no matter what. Even when she's the perpetrator, even when she's the villain, even when she has attacked somebody. And this ain't no disrespect. I know probably some white women watching this. Some of y'all I might know. I ain't really talking about you, but you need to check yourselves. You need to look around. There's very few. There's a reason why white women are the lowest or are the least incarcerated group of people in America, and why black men are the most incarcerated group of people in America. And don't you dare try to say that it's because we're bad and you're good. No, I've seen y'all do some ratchet, horrible, ridiculous shit, but somebody always protects you. So while you are running around here screaming that you're as oppressed as we are, that you deserve the same spot in line for the affirmative action program as black people do, that you've gone through what we've gone through. In fact, when they start talking about reparations, they'll probably start trying to get reparations for white women. While you're saying all that, just understand that these same white men that you claim will oppress you, they're also the same white men who also protect you. They created the Ku Klux Klan to murder us, to protect you. They literally created one of the greatest terrorist organizations in the history of all mankind to protect you. When they made that movie Birth of a Nation in 1919, whatever year it was, and they talked about how the Klan was going around killing black people to protect these sweet, innocent damsels in distress, they built all that to protect you. Nobody protects black people. Nobody. So stop acting like your feminist sisterhood plight. God bless you for that. Women deserve equal rights. We know that. Stop behaving like you're always the victim, because you're about the most fucking aggressive victim I've ever seen in my life. My God, I've never been more afraid of a victim ever. Victims are supposed to be meek and scared and under attack. No, these victims are some treacherous sons of bitches when they want to be that way. So I'm sorry, you're not a victim. Stop acting that way. So anyway, I'm going to have to go in a minute. I'm in Chicago. If y'all guys want to come to Chicago, feel free. You can get your ticket at drboychicago.com or just show up at the Studio Movie Grill out in Chatham. It's on the south side of Chicago. If you haven't been there, it's beautiful. Lots of beautiful black people, lots of cool stuff going on. Well, Dr. Anderson will be in Dallas next week, so you can go to drboycedallas.com if you want to check that out. So what I'm going to do is I just feel like we should just end the day on a high note. So what I want to do is, before I leave out, I want y'all to just watch this video again, because I love this woman. No disrespect to the woman I love, of course, but I might propose marriage to her tomorrow, because I think that what she did was just extraordinary. And once again, she is my hero. Hold on, let me turn this off. So I just really think everybody should just see what this lady said. I mean, it's so good. Good job, Michelle. Good job being you and not letting anybody slow you down. I'm telling you, I'm really super impressed with this. You have the Dr. Boy seal of approval. All right, so let me play the video.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, her rant was so fucking hard body. Dr. Boyce Watkins had to play that shit twice on this show and invite her to this show and say, I might propose to this woman. Damn, she really went in, yo. So when issues like this come up in the news, that's my go-to guy. I swear, I'll go to Tariq Nasheed on Twitter and see what Tariq says about it, and I'll listen to Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's like, if I want up-to-date perspectives on, really hot button topics, those are the two guys I try to listen to first. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to Nasheed right now and see if what he's saying about it. Tariq Nasheed is the guy who put together the Hidden Colors series. So if you ever watched the Hidden Colors documentaries, that's Tariq Nasheed. He did all of that. He started all of that. Yo. So Tariq Nasheed on Bill Cosby's guilty farce, Getting the Big Fish, and it says it's offline. Ain't that some shit? How in the hell they took that down?
In New York City on Saturday, April 14th at the NYC Seminar and Conference Center for the Truth About the Game seminar. In this seminar,
When somebody in the chat room said Meek Mill is a symbol of hope for Philly, that's why they show love. Nigga, please. Somebody in the chat room, you must be a white supremacist saying some stupid shit like that. Want no hope for Philly? If he was a hope for Philly, they wouldn't have had him on probation so damn long. Get out of here. And this ain't a slight on Meek Mill. I'm glad that brother's out of jail, and I know he's glad. And also, on a side note, with Meek, they're going to use this over his head. I hope they don't try to get Meek to put on no tap shoes. Like, hey, Meek, remember when we let you out and had that big parade and everything? Well, you owe us, nigga. You understand? I hope they don't try to hang nothing over my brother's head. But even the other day, I knew something wasn't right.
And that's why I listen to these cats. They talk just normal. They normal hood motherfuckers who smart as shit. You know what I'm saying? Smart ass self-made millionaires. But I just like how they talk. Get the fuck out of here. Like Dr. Boyce Watkins. He started cursing. He's like, I'm just trying to get y'all prepared because this lady, she about to cuss her ass off. She cuss more than I cuss. But I dig it though, man.
Hope they don't try to get Meek to put on no tap shoes.
Put on no tap shoes.
Hey, Meek, remember when we let you out and had that big parade and everything? Well, you owe us, nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
You understand? I hope they don't try to hang nothing over my brother's head. But even the other day, I knew something wasn't right when they got Meek Mill ringing the Liberty Bell. I'm like, wait a minute. When do a brother get up out of jail and they do all this?
Huh? I ain't even heard that.
Something ain't right about this.
Hell no, they had me ringing the Liberty Bell. What?
Now we see. They knew that the Cosby verdict was going to be guilty. They already knew. So they were prepping people. They were like, okay, we'll let this guy out and we'll do this big old parade to show, hey, we're not racist. Look at us all hugged up on Meek Mill.
Yeah, because Cosby from Philly too.
Cosby verdict comes down, nobody can accuse us of being racist out here in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can accuse all of the other white supremacists in the media for having a racist agenda against Cosby. Because they knew that this shit was going to come down guilty. Y'all have to understand that these white supremacists play chess and y'all play checkers. They're 3 or 4 steps ahead of most of us. That's why y'all got to open your eyes. We all got to keep our eyes open and see what's going on in these cities and around us and see why certain things are happening. They knew that Cosby was going to be found guilty, and they knew people were going to look at that verdict funny style. So they wanted to go ahead and preempt the racialized questions and say, hey, you know, we just had Meek, so we can't be racist. I mean, hey, we bent over backwards to get Meek Mill out of jail. And understand, get Meek Mill out of jail, that's not nothing that's going to harm or damage or replace white supremacy. He was never supposed to be in there in the first place over that bullshit. So this is chess. They could knock off a pawn and let a black dude out who's prominent and use that for their own benefit. Them letting Meek Mill out was for their benefit. They look at this thing as a chess game. How is this going to make us look better? All right, we'll get Meek Mill out. Because let me tell y'all something, that black judge who supposedly won't let him out or wouldn't let him out, let me explain something to you folks. They told her not to let him out. Black folks ain't got the kind of power to skirt white authority. The only reason she didn't, quote unquote, allow Meek out of jail is because they told her not to. Don't be fooled by that shit, man. This sister had all of this unwielding power out there in Philly, and she won't. See, they let that sister be the fall guy. They got in her ear, somebody got in her ear and said, hey, don't you get that nigga no bail until we say so. You understand? So they went on and let him out. And when they give you something, they're going to take something back. We celebrate too much without looking and seeing what's going on. When we see them concede to something, understand that there's a trick bag coming around the corner. If they give us something that we didn't really achieve on our own, there's going to be a kickback around the corner. Even when we do achieve it on our own, there's going to be a kickback. Just like in out there in Nashville when that white supremacist shot up that Waffle House with all those black folks. He went and targeted black people, and the judge gave this dude a damn bail. He shot several people and killed 4 black folks. Well, 3 black folks and a Mexican dude or Hispanic dude. But he was targeting black folks, and they gave this dude a $2 million bail. And we start putting information about the judge out there. Then they started white-splaining, like, oh, it wasn't the judge, it was the magistrate. It was the night magistrate who gave the bail amount. They started explaining their ass off, and then they revoked the bail. This is why we got to be on top of the game, family. We got to be on top of the game. But as far as this bill,
a $2 million bill? Really? Really? Man, he would have had 2 million white supremacists donate $1 and get his ass the fuck out that shit. You just killed 4 people with an assault rifle, and they gave you a bail. What the fuck? That's scary. That's actually scary. I didn't know that dude got a bail. Oh, but we revoked it. Yeah, but you gave him a chance. You better hurry up and start a GoFundMe page right now. Wow.
Case. A lot of the white supremacist feminist groups are going around celebrating, they're high-fiving each other, and people in the dominant white society, they know that this is a farce, and we know it's a farce. This is why whenever you have doubts about this case, they try to browbeat you into going along with this bogus-ass verdict. You notice that? And most black people, we're going to have to be very real. Black people are afraid of white people in America. That's all. See, black folks talk a good game, but deep down, many black people are afraid of white people. And it's understandable. White people collectively who believe in white supremacy are very powerful, and they can harm you. That's the reality.
And these motherfuckers buy guns just to buy guns.
Until you get to a place where you don't.
I got some weapons, but damn, the white boy got 15 guns, and then his homeboy got 50 guns, and then his cousin got 60 guns. I'm like, God damn.
Look at it. Notice, none of
I ain't
these
got that many
suspected
guns.
white supremacists were all for the Me Too movement. None of them are actually talking about the details of this case. This case was mad weak, and they know it. That's why they don't talk about the details of the case. This case, these were Constant, the lady, she got on the stand, lied repeatedly. She got caught in several lies. She got caught in several contradictions. Every time she got contradicted, she would move the dates around. She said she got drugged on a whole bunch of different days. She kept moving the date around. I mean, it was ridiculous. Then they had Janice Dickinson on the stand. She got caught in lies. Janice Dickinson damn it admitted. She admitted she lied. I mean, this case was a farce. Not only did Janet Dickinson admit she lied, she said she lied for money. She was like, yeah, well, I lied in my book about Bill Cosby, but I'm not lying now. I mean, I needed the money. I mean, it was that type of shit being said. I mean, some of this shit would have been dismissed a long time ago. And on top of that, again, this dude, hold on one second, because I got some white supremacist trolls in the chat room. Hold on one second. Let me get them up out of here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Now, I wish I had my mods. Hold on one second. Let me get some mods in here because we got some white supremacists in here. We got some white supremacists in here. And I want to see where are my regulars. Because that's another thing. See, when we start bringing truth to power, you see they start popping up real crazy, right? Alicia, let me mod up Alicia. I like to mod up the sisters. The sisters are pretty responsible. Oh, can I mod you up here? Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me do this. Y'all bear with me. Let me mod my sister up. Hold on one second, because we're going to stop some of the fuckery going on in the chat room right now. Where are we, man? Y'all bear with me 1 second, family. I'm sorry. Y'all bear with me 1 second. Because I don't want these white supremacists to mess up the flow of everything. And I forgot, I'm on my Tariq Time account. And on this account, I don't have the same mods as my other account. All right, now where are we at? Where's Allison? Where are you, dear? Let me get you up in here. Is that Paint Toes? She's a co-getter. What's up, Paint Toes? I see you. Allison, where are you? I'm gonna get a few mods up in here. There you go. Let me get Allison. She's gonna be in my where. I need some more mods. Where y'all at? All right. Money Chapman, where you at? Y'all bear with me for a second. Some of these names don't look familiar. I don't want to mod the wrong folks because I modded Elevation Allah's ass and that niggas just started blocking people indiscriminately. You dig? So I gotta watch the niggas that I mod. Some of these niggas are real funny style out here. Somebody said I might mod a bed wench. I don't want to do that, so she be fucking up the page with Zaddy. All right, so I get some more people in a minute. Oh yeah, there you go, Sister Tubman. There you go. All right, but what was I saying before I was disturbed? What was I saying, family? Y'all help me get back on track so we can talk about what we were talking about.
Yeah, what the fuck? Where did he left off at?
Yeah, don't mind the white supremacists, I know. But I was talking about the Cosby case. I was talking about how bogus the case was. I was talking about Janice Dickinson on the trial lying. I mean, this case was a farce. This is why they were doing so many circus antics outside of the court. This is why they had bed wenches and mammies doing all of this, running around buck dancing, acting a fool outside of the court. And that's another thing, family. You notice most of the so-called women of color Cosby accusers, none of these women identify as black. And that's another Jedi mind trick. They tried to say, well, there's a lot of black women who are his accusers. There's like really one, and that was Beverly Johnson. I'm talking about as far as identifying as black. This was a white woman's thing right here. Because some of those other women, Lily, whatever her name is, the one who's out there with the big afro all the time, the one who's always up under Gloria Allred, Lily Bernard or something like that. I think that's her name. Who was light, but all of a sudden, during this trial, she got dark as hell. Lily Bernard, she's Cuban. I was pointing all this stuff out on Twitter. Lily Bernard is Cuban. Is born in Cuba. Not just like a Cuban American. She was born in Cuba. And I'm telling you, don't no damn Cubans come over here and identify with black. Go to Miami and you'll see that truth. They don't identify with black. And this woman was light as hell, with straight hair with a little curl in it. Now for this trial, all of a sudden, she got a big fucking afro, and they got her looking like Lupita. Now she done darken it up some. I'm like, God damn.
Motherfuckers acting.
But these women, though, they don't identify with black. This is why they have no problem siding with white mommy and white daddy. They don't have no problem doing that. Yeah, this Lily chick got all these African beads around her neck. I'm like, God damn, is she in Wakanda? I thought I'm looking at damn Black Panther 2. With the shit she got on. She had a vibranium necklace and big hoop earrings, and they got dookie braids in the women. I'm like, they're just blacking them up. I mean, it's a farce. It's a damn farce. But the thing is, we black people in America, this is very important. We have to look at this because this case is very pivotal to us because they don't deal with black people in a vacuum. This was a lesson in coonery because Bill Cosby was talking that coonery, and I'm not throwing him under the bus, you know, because look, this case, we're not exempt from the system of white supremacy. This is a lesson that we all should learn. All victims are equal in the system of white supremacy. This is why I do what I do. This is why you notice when people talk about money and white supremacists, they're very good at talking about what little money I have. I got a little paper, I ain't, you know. But money don't mean shit in a system of white supremacy. That's why I never fall for that talk. They always try to money shame me, the white supremacists and the coons. They will, look at you, Tariq, how you look at that white supremacy is treating you real well, Tariq, huh? It don't matter what little dollars I got. These white supremacists can take my little money and take me out anytime with impunity. I know this. I'm never going to ignore that fact. I'm going to be very cognizant of that fact. I'm not going to sit up here like, oh, I got me some dollars. Oh, Lord Jesus, I have arrived. Lord, I have arrived. I ain't talking that slave coon shit. I am no different from somebody in the damn projects at all. We are the same. I know this. I don't get caught up in that bougie shit. And Bill Cosby was part of the boule. All you boule niggas out there. All you boule niggas, especially out there in D.C., all you boule Jack and Jill niggas out there in Philly, Maryland, Virginia, all y'all boule Jack and Jill, y'all sit up and dress up and wear your suits and all that. Your talented temps. Y'all know who you are. Bill Cosby, he was boule. That was your dude. All that money y'all like driving around flossing, y'all think y'all better than all the other niggas? Y'all had the paper bag test for a long time, all your boule cats? All that bouleing didn't save your boy. I'm not saying that to be antagonistic. I'm just saying this is a wake-up call. We all in this shit together. Boule, all that shit. Yeah, I don't want my kids playing with them ghetto kids. We all in this shit together. Beep, 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 rolling. Beep, 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 beep. We in this together. All victims are equal. So we need to always focus on what we're going to do to replace the system of white supremacy. We always got to keep our eye on that. We start focusing on all types of other stuff. well, if we just get an education, we don't have to deal with it. No, education is good, but you got to deal with education in the context of the system of white supremacy. Well, we got to get some money and invest in stocks. Okay, money and investing in stocks is good, but how are we going to protect that in the system of white supremacy? Man, ain't no white supremacy. See, that white supremacy denial shit, too many of us have not woken up from that. We cannot ever let our guards down. This is very important, this Bill Cosby thing, because the white supremacists, they've been needing to get a big fish for a long time. This is very important, and it's very telling, because now that they got a big fish, all the other little fishes are going to be a piece of cake. This is a very dangerous moment, family, because that's what they've been wanting to do for a long time. They haven't really been able to get that big fish like they wanted to. They tried with OJ. They couldn't do it with OJ. The community on a grassroots level, we were too about that life. We had too many people, badass like Johnny Cochran. We had folks like that. We were about that life back then. Now, we're on that bullshit now. We got people, remember, during the OJ trial, at the time in the early to the mid-90s, you still
OJ
had,
did
you know,
it.
you had the KRS-Ones out there, you had Poor Righteous Teachers, you had cats out here, we had the ratchetness, but cats were, there was a consciousness there to a certain degree. You had the X-Men and all that. There was a certain consciousness there. Even with the music. There's certain.
This is the most I've listened to any kind of commentary on this shit. Like, for the past couple of days, I know I've been hearing about it, this and that, but I haven't really sat down and got real hardcore perspectives on it until yesterday. So yesterday I listened to Joe Rogan, and I like Joe Rogan, but I think his commentary was kind of biased, and my main thing is, and he had this lady on there, and she was so racist. She was just like biting her tongue not to say the N-word, but she was like, I don't know, and it kind of, I guess her perspective really made it even worse. But it was like, you guys aren't even trying to look at it from the other side. You're just going along with the main story. And Joe Rogan posted a question everything. This motherfucker questioned the moon landing, the JFK assassination. But with this, like, he didn't question anything. He just was like, that's so fucked up that Bill Cosby, he's like a fucking monster. He's just raping these women. They're drugged. It's like fucking a dead body. Who wants to fuck a dead body? He's such a horrible man. And you're going around telling people to pull your pants up and this and that, trying to be the family guy. And you're out here raping all these women. Like, dude, okay, so the only thing that I said, so, like, because these allegations have been there for a while, like, since last year, and it's like, okay, he drugged you, and then he raped you, and you remembered, like, then what the fuck did the drugs do? Like, how do you remember what the fuck was going on if you were drugged and passed the fuck out? And then, how can you remember that shit so clearly 30 years later? Why didn't you tell that next day? You know, or that next week? Oh, because he continued to rape you over, you know, a certain period of time? What? Huh? That shit ain't never made no sense, like, when the allegations first came out. But now, since this shit is actually in trial, like the other day I heard was, oh, Bill Cosby's guilty. I'm like, huh? Really? And I never even thought about, like Boyce Watkins said, like, the statute of limitation. Like, how can you get somebody on the charge that fucking old? Like, it's not murder. And once again, like, that Stanford college kid raped a bitch behind a dumpster, and she was passed out drunk, and he got a few months in jail. And that's what I'm saying, like, Joe Rogan is still my dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop listening to Joe Rogan because I disagree with, I disagree with most people, not all the time, but there is nobody I really ever agree with 100%, like, nobody. I disagree with Tariq Nasheed every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? There's only one person that I've ever listened to or read that I agree with 100% all of the time. And he's dead. That's Dr. Amos Wilson. If you listen to any of Dr. Amos Wilson's lectures, or if you read any of his books, you can't disagree with that shit. Like, he makes perfect, logical sense 100% of the time. But, like I said, Joe Rogan, you question the moon landing, and that's good. Like, but you won't even question this Bill Cosby shit. You just went full head on that he's fucking guilty. And my whole, even once again, when the allegations first came out, I'm like, yo, fuck, Bill Cosby had money for a long time. Bill Cosby, you know, he had bread in his 20s and 30s. He was acting at a young age. Motherfucker had bread. He could buy the pussy. Why he gotta rape, drug and rape a bitch when you can just buy the pussy? Bitch, I give you $200, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. That shit just don't make sense to me, yo. And then, what is 20, 30 women? Like, really?
She just didn't do, and there was a consciousness there.
I don't know.
Now, we don't have that. We got Kanye West out here wearing a damn Trump hat, acting a fucking fool. That's what we got out here now. We got our artists out here buck dancing and cooning it up right now. These are the people that's supposed to be the prominent black folks. You got Kanye, who's going all the way to the sunken place, kissing Trump's ass. And let me get on Kanye, because I don't want to get too much on Kanye, but this whole thing Kanye's doing, he's taking pictures with a Make America Great Again, and he's co-signing Trump and co-signing other coons. Understand this. It's not that Kanye is trying to be provocative or Kanye is trying to be Machiavellian like some of his people are trying to say. One of his artists, Shy the Prince, was hitting me up on Twitter, making it seem like this is some kind of Machiavellian chess move that Kanye is doing, and hey, you know, we gotta infiltrate our enemy. I'm like, nigga, sit down. Sit the fuck down. This ain't no infiltration. This is just old school buck dancing. Just stop it. Sci-Hi was cooning his ass off for Kanye. And this dude's supposed to be conscious himself.
Yeah, I agree to say, I like Sci-Hi the Prince, yo.
The thing,
damn, that's fucked up, yo. And, yo, I like Sci-Hi the Prince. and that's why I like Tariq Nasheed, though. Like, this motherfucker okay. He just blew that motherfucker spot up. Sit your ass down out here buck dancing for Kanye. You supposed to be conscious. Talking about, oh, we trying to infiltrate. You got this Machiavellian, man. We got to infiltrate our enemy. Shut the fuck up. Damn. Yo, sorry. Sci-Hi hit me up in my inbox. Yeah, he just put his ass on Front Street. Oh, damn. That's too funny.
Infiltration. This is just old school buck dancing.
It's just old school buck dancing, man. Cut that shit out.
Sci-Hi was cooning his ass off for
cooning his ass off.
This dude's supposed to be conscious himself. The thing is, Kanye, when was the last time Kanye's record popped off? Kanye hasn't had a really popping record in a minute. Them clothes are not selling like that. People aren't buying them Walking Dead zombie clothes that Kanye has. Somebody said that Sci-Hi dude been a coon. He was really cooning. I don't know too much about the dude, but he was cooning it up. He was cooning up heavy on Twitter.
Sci-Hi actually got one of my favorite songs.
But Kanye's records ain't popping like that. And going on those opioid rants on stage, he had to cancel his show, so he ain't making no show money. Kim them ain't giving that motherfucker no money like that. White women ain't about to break off their bread for this nigga. I promise you that. They ain't letting that nigga have access to no money. I promise you that. So Kanye's money's a little funny. That's the deal with Kanye.
Don't put him on blast.
His money is funny as hell. Jay ain't really fucking with him like that. Black folks don't really fuck with Kanye like that, to be honest. You don't see black people at Kanye's concert.
Him and
Black
Kid
people
Cudi about to put out an
Kanye
album.
like that, all that crazy ranting. Because first of all, we ain't paying all that money for no ticket to see a nigga get on stage and talk dumb shit. That's what we not gonna do. If black folks pay some money, you better perform and perform good. And bring Charlie Wilson out there with your ass too. We want to see some guests. You dig? But the thing is, the white crowds, they like to see Kanye. They like to see a disturbed Negro melting and having a meltdown and falling apart. They love that. That's why they go see him. They love those crazy dumbass rants. They love that shit. They mocking you. And the thing is, Kanye, he's showing contempt for black society. He's showing contempt for black society. He tried to say something about, violence in Chicago, and I've seen a lot of Chicago folks checking him like, Kanye, you ain't doing shit for no violence in Chicago, nigga. What are you talking about? You ain't out here doing nothing. But yeah, this dude, Kanye, is showing contempt for black society. He's trying to pander to that white supremacist crowd. He's like, look, this money's low. Let me get some of those Yeezy tap shoes. He got the Yeezy tap shoes popping. That's what that's about. That's just old-fashioned cooning. When the money is low, the coons are laced, the tap shoes are laced up high. The tap shoes are laced up high.
Don't hurt him with the truth, Tariq.
And we see how Kanye gets when he does interviews, get around black folks, going off. You don't know the answer, Sway. All this old shit. And black folks trying to drop game on him like, hey, dude, stop sucking up to these damn white folks. They won't let me in the industry. They won't let me. These white people won't let me. Yo, well, get your own stuff, man. You can get it popping on your own. You don't know the answer, Sway. That's coon talk. How dare you tell me to leave Massa alone? You tell a nigga to leave Massa alone. You hush your mouth, Sway. How dare you? You don't know the answer. Massa love me and I love Massa.
I ain't seen that shit. I got it.
Ebro got his ass
Old
good.
school
Shout out to my
podcast.
nigga Ebro. Ebro's my nigga. Ebro hit him with some. Ebro said, look, Kanye, you can't out-rap J. Cole. You can't out-hit Drake. You're not a legend like Jay-Z. I mean, Ebro was hitting this nigga with ether. You dig? And then Kanye had to call Ebro up like, I love you, brother. He playing crazy. Kanye, that for
New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
800-223-9797. Simple question from Rosenberg regarding Kanye West.
What, do you care?
Yes.
Are we the only ones who care this much? Or are you just like, I just want the music. It doesn't matter.
Now, Laura said the most poignant thing right before we opened the microphones, which is Kanye is talking about things that don't affect him.
They do not. Let's be honest. None of these things affect him. He lives in a bubble where it's like none of us could really understand. All he's surrounded by is the Kardashians and a bunch of yes men and the fashion world and this. He doesn't understand what's happening in the streets, what's happening when it comes to protests. None of that. It's like when Lil Wayne said that racism doesn't exist because it didn't happen to him. Well, you've been rich and famous since you were how low? 12 years old?
Yes. Well
10
said.
years old? So when people see you, they don't look at you as an average black man. You're a rapper, a rich rapper. They're like, oh, there's that rapper, that Lil Wayne.
It's a great point, Laura. And to Ebro, then to get into your point, it shows that Kanye doesn't appreciate the danger of the things he was tweeting about yesterday.
Right. And so I put up an IG post that was Beyonce looking amazing at Coachella, right? And my caption was, nothing even matters when we have this. Does anything else really matter when you have this.
And just Beyonce being amazing.
And it was just Beyonce walking, looking amazing.
Yes.
And then I put note, now we know why they don't do play dates.
Which is a very subtle jab saying, now I know why the Carters don't hang out with the West.
Right, and this is during Kanye's tweeting about this lady who's a conservative, I guess I'll call her outspoken
pundit, whatever she is.
Whatever she is. And a friend of Kanye West left a comment and added me and said, you actually don't know. And so I called him back. And I said, I saw your little slick comment. If you had something to say, why you didn't just call me?
Say it.
Call me.
You got to call me, bro.
Why'd you just call
Don't
me?
send your killers for me. Call me, bro.
So we started to go back and forth. And he's like, well, that's my friend. And I was like, well, your friend's a celebrity. So I'm allowed to have an opinion on your celebrity friend and somebody that I've known a long time making controversial public comments. I could be off base, that's fine. And so we started going in the background. Kanye West comes screaming in.
You could hear him.
And it ain't no Ralph, though. He's like, bro, we just don't want to be out here acting like niggas.
That's what
That was the first thing out of his mouth.
What does that mean?
And I was like, well, you are acting like a nigga, though. Because you're talking about things you don't understand. And you're playing with things that people have died for and are still dying and crying out about. This Candace lady telling Black Lives Matter people that they're whiners, she doesn't know the neighborhoods these people come from.
Absolutely not. You're talking to mothers, people who have lost family members, sons, daughters. Are you kidding me?
And so you're just playing around. He was like, well, that's what I want to have. I want to have open dialogue. I said, Kanye, the conversation's been open, bro. You're just not a part of it. And you're just chiming in right now because you got an album coming out.
See, now we're talking. That's facts.
Well, I just don't want to be not able to say the things that I think. There's a lot of things that I feel and I just want to say them, and I'm using my platform to say them. I said, look, that's fair.
Okay.
But finish the thought. Don't just have these open-ended conversations and expect people to follow along and not be emotional about it.
Random loose tweets like, I like the way she thinks.
And he went on to say, look, I was going to tweet and give some context, but I felt, you know what? Let me just take this heat right now. This is Kanye talking. Let me just take this heat right now. And maybe people will understand when I put the music out. So I was like, oh, so once again, you're using it for promo. So we went back and forth about a number of things. I told him I thought he was cooning for cash. Being in the lobby at Trump's house, I thought that was a coon move.
A new game we're starting here on Friday.
Cooning for cash. And he was like, why, you think I'm going to make more money because I'm saying the things that I'm saying? I said, yes. Because the bankers and the executives and the right-wing folks and that audience that wants to see a black man say these things to separate himself from other black people will celebrate that.
And how about that audience that made Roseanne the biggest thing on television?
Facts.
That pro-Trump right-wing talk is making people money.
So I'm going to run through a couple of points of our conversation that went on for probably 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. It was long. I didn't realize it was this long conversation. Okay.
Kanye wants to deprogram people. That's his ultimate goal, is to have people think differently than we've thought before.
Because, thank you, Kanye. And we need that.
The only reason he likes this Candace lady is because she's challenging conventional black thought.
Okay. These are things that he said.
He went on to talk about nobody really showed love for me when I was addicted to opioids and in the hospital. I said, you're a liar. I said, I know people who personally reached out to Pusha and anybody they could, Scooter Braun, and anybody close to you to come to your aid. People love you, bro. And people want to love you. Then he went on to talk about demonization. He feels like he's been demonized. And how, as a society, we demonize individuals who are trying to speak out and challenge conventional thought. We demonize them for trying to think different, when really they're just trying to continue to make progress. So I think we're going to hear a lot more about that specific thing. And multiple times through the conversation, he said, I just want to lead with love. I just want to be about love. And I said, you're a liar.
You're a liar.
Because the people you're aligning yourself with aren't leading with love.
No.
No.
Nor were the thoughts that he was tweeting about this weekend. They did the opposite of love. It really got people angry and upset. Myself included. I read those tweets and got upset. That wasn't leading with love at all.
Then he said, I do love Donald Trump.
He said that.
Kanye West. Quote, I love Donald Trump.
That's what I was going to ask you. People are saying that he's been saying he loves Donald Trump.
Yes.
And he said it.
I love Donald Trump.
Wow. That's a new t-shirt for you. With the dash, I love Donald Trump, dash Kanye West.
So the challenge that we're going to take calls from the people right now, I guess, Rosenberg said, do y'all even care or do you just want the music? And now we talked earlier on the program where I was struggling all weekend because I'm a Kanye West fan. I am a fan of Kanye West's music, and I've known him since before he put out his first record.
And I think that's why it's hard for everyone to hear him co-sign people like Candace Owens. Because we love him, and the fact that he's co-signing, to me it feels like he's co-signing hate. And that's just me.
Well, by the way, though,
that's why it hurts. That's why you're like, what?
The reason I think the Trump thing is particularly interesting is not because I don't want to live in a world where it's like communist Russia. When you find out someone has a belief, we all point at them and go get them. I don't, even though we disagree with Donald Trump, I'm not saying that. But if we're spending all weekend going, how could he say this about Candace Owens? Well, when you find out he's been running around telling people he loves Donald Trump, that gives you a lot of context to where he is right now. Maybe that's just who he is.
And you think about who Kanye's been the entire time. Selfish, trolly, materialistic. Did I say selfish?
Yes.
I said selfish.
You said yes. And selfish.
And selfish.
And self-important also.
And self-important.
Other people's views don't mean as much. He comes out and says that there are millions of you, there's only 1,000 of you, there's only one of me. That's how he sees the world. Kanye West he does inflate his value over other humans. That's something he's always done.
I challenged him and I said, man, you know, the problem is you live in a bubble in Calabasas, California, around a lot of rich people, and it's rubbed off on you because you're not in touch. And he was like, how am I not in touch? Nobody's fixing what's going on in Chicago. I was like, no, there's a lot of people. I said, have you talked to G Herbo, Lil Bibby,
Chance,
Lil Durk, Chance, and people who are still doing work in Chicago lately?
Have you talked to Common?
Have you talked to your friend Common? Great point.
Hello.
I didn't say that, but that's a great point. He was like, well, I reached out to Obama for years and I couldn't get anything done. And Trump gave me a meeting. I said, Trump played you, bro. Trump didn't give you a real meeting. You met at his home in New York City. A real meeting would have meant you would have went on that White House schedule and you would have went up to his new job at his new office and had a real meeting on his job on that time. Oh, well, he's busy and this and that. He's too busy? He's too busy? You sure? You sure he's too busy?
Do you think, also, a couple things to note. I believe, and this is nothing but hunch, I believe, knowing what his ego's like, Kanye's still mad at Obama for calling him a jackass all those years ago.
Could be.
I believe that. And Trump didn't call him a jackass. Trump gave him time, or so he saw it. You and I saw it as him being just like...
Steve Harvey got played, Kanye got played, Jim Brown got played.
He was just in that. We saw what it was. He thought he got time, whereas Obama thought he was a jackass. Well, guess what? Guess whose opinion I trust more than Donald Trump? Barack Obama. And I love you, Kanye West. I really do. I don't care what you say. I will love your music and what you've given to hip-hop. Obama was right. You are a jackass. And you showed it again this weekend.
Kendall in Brooklyn. Does all this Kanye West tweeting nonsense even matter to you?
Yeah, it matters to me for this reason. Like, to go back to what I said earlier, it's more than just about, you got to have freedom to make your choices. Nah, this is good to me, bro. Like, you can't make all those albums you was making in the beginning, giving it, you know what I mean, Jesus War, crack music and all that, and then you're going to support the man who supports Charlotte, really? Like, that don't make no sense. This is just chaos for chaos sakes, bro.
That's a good point.
That's a really good way of saying
chaos for chaos sake. Christian in Queens.
Hey.
Do you even care about all this Kanye West tweeting, or do you just want the music?
At first, I didn't care. I just wanted the music because I'm a huge Kanye fan. But right now, he's like he's stepping into dangerous territory. Like, he's being naive. Like, Fox has an agenda, and they use famous, naive black people to help push this agenda. The idiots like this sheriff and Stacey Dash and this new idiot Candace Owens.
Well said.
They're all idiots that they use to push the agenda to appease to white people that don't want to mess with our views. So Kanye just falls into that trap.
When I hit Kanye with, yo, check this out. Donald Trump aligns himself with people who want to see the demise of black and brown people all the way to the womb, bro. To the womb. He was silent. And to that caller's point, Kanye's tampering with things for the sake of album promo that go far beyond music. And that's the dangerous part. That when you have been, look, Kanye, while I know he has cousins and his father struggled with drugs, his mother was an accomplished educator.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, you know, while there is struggle in Kanye's past, and obviously he's from Chicago, there is struggle there. There's also some affluence to a degree.
He's a well-educated, middle-class kid whose mom worked hard to put him in a good spot, send him to college, etc.
And so this Candace lady, same thing. When you look up her resume, people get so out of touch with poor black and brown people in this country, and they think that their experience applies. And it's not that simple. And we have a lot of conversation up here about nuanced conversation, like really being able to unpack all of the degrees. When you see people in the streets screaming at the top of their lungs, "My life matters, don't kill me," and your first response is, "You're a whiner," I can't have a conversation with you. There's no talk. There's nothing for us to talk about. You are so out of touch. And that's the pain with what Kanye's doing. That's where the people really felt the knife turn over the weekend. And Kanye, he's going to put out some music. It may happen this week. He was mixing something in the studio. He knows that the conversation is hot right now. And he was talking about, Kanye was talking about, look, man, I just want people to have open dialogue. And I'm like, Kanye, the dialogue's been open. You're not here, fam. You're in Calabasas with your wife and kids, hanging around people who don't look like you, in a bubble in La La Land. There was a movie about it.
Didn't Caitlyn Jenner also vote Trump?
Yes.
And go hang with Trump at some point?
Yes, and later was very disappointed.
Right. But still is a Trump person,
Yes.
right? Got it.
Yep.
I'm just keeping track.